To Stacker News Live. I'm Car with my BFF Keyan. How's your South by going?
Is it even going yet?
Dude, it's chaos. Stackers, it's chaos outside. It's literally chaos outside. You have no idea. Me and Topher literally had to just fight through people and traffic. It's just to get in here.
Is the conference going on though? I thought it's already going.
Yeah, it's already kicked off. So I think that this is the tech EDU portion. Then Monday, then they'll leave, and then all the cool people will come, and then they'll leave, then the movie people will come, and then
Okay. Yeah, I've been seeing the traffic. I saw a bit of the roads blocked off, but I haven't been outside since 7 a.m. this morning. So
good luck on your walk home.
I know it's pretty. I mean, the most annoying thing is I have to avoid getting hit by the pedicabs. Yeah. That are on the walkway, but other than that, it's pretty.
Yeah,
it's just louder in general. The city is a lot louder, which is my main gripe, probably. But
so you're sounding like an Austinite already. Get off my lawn. Go back home. Cool. Let's get into the top 5 stories of the week here on Stacker News Live. Our first top story is my first Bitcoin PR. This is from Ezekias. Still can't pronounce his name. On March 9th, 22 comments, 3,931 cents. Man, this had a lot of churn on it. What's going on here?
Yeah, well, Ezekias is a pretty active stacker, and he's contributed to Stacker News too, and one of very few contributors to the open source project, and has made some pretty good contributions, and also got a Bitcoin PR merge. So since he posted this was actually merged. It's a very simple change, very small. Just changes a command line makes a command line parameter a little bit more concise or better coding standards than it would be otherwise. Rather than hard coding a value here, he uses string interpolation. And that's really it's just a little one-line change in the CLI.
That's so cool, though.
But
this gets more people, contributing, right? I mean,
yeah, his foot is in the door now. He is a Bitcoin Core contributor now.
Love it. Congratulations on that, man. That's awesome. What did the stackers say about it? Did they have anything? Yeah, everybody's just kind of congratulating him.
Yeah,
that's cool, man. Authoring code is nice and all, but reviewing code like you did and then you references to PR, I'm sure, is what should be celebrated. Reviewers are the real heroes. Cool, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Very exciting stuff. I actually got to meet Ezekias this past week. Him and I had a phone call.
Really?
We discussed him maybe joining Stacker News.
Whoa.
But he's a busy person, obviously. He's a Bitcoin Core contributor now, so he's got a lot on his plate. We'll see how it works out. But
I will say this, if you're listening, Keyan's wonderful to work with. I do this every week with him, and then he helps me around the lab with stuff. So it's he's wonderful to work with. I think he's made, honestly, dude, I've never told you this, but you've definitely made me a much better, efficient individual. The time I've known you, so
that's very sweet.
It's true. So I would say if you're considering, you can learn a lot from him. Cool. Our next top story is DarthCoin translation guide. This is from Siggy47. 46 comments. I can only imagine what this is going to be. 7,400 sats. What's going on here, Keyan, with DarthCoin again?
Well, Siggy47 and DarthCoin are probably two of the most active stackers that we have now, and so Siggy is obviously quite familiar with DarthCoin, but he's basically translating DarthCoin for people because we know people have a pretty strong reaction to DarthCoin. He's my number one requested block.
Wow,
people
really?
will reach out to me on Twitter. They'll DM me and they'll be like, "Hey, how's that block feature coming or that mute feature come in?" And I'm like, "What's going on exactly?" And they're like, "Well, it's DarthCoin," because it's people who have a little, maybe express a little too much sympathy to altcoins, and Darth tends to have a pretty strong response. And then after that, Darth pretty much, dismisses you entirely. But anyway, so Siggy made this great translation guide for people who might be offended by Darth to help them understand him a little better. So when he says you're a fucking moron, what maybe someone who was a little more polite might say is, I think perhaps with regard to this particular issue, you are mistaken. I mean, he's kind of exaggerating, but yeah, DarthCoin will call you a moron when you're mistaken. And then when he calls you a fucking shitcoiner, he's really, maybe just pointing out the differences between Bitcoin and other coins. But in general, it's just kind of hilarious, especially to people who have been on Stacker News for a while and are familiar with DarthCoin. This is how I read DarthCoin when I read him. I don't read him as angry as it might seem. Like if you were talking on the board like this, I'd be like, what's going on with Car? Is something wrong? But when DarthCoin does this, I'm like, this is how he communicates. This is.
He's one of the perks of Stacker News. You get a personality. I mean, on Bitcoin Twitter, there's personalities. I mean, some people make their whole livings on these things. And Darth, it looks like he's stacking.
Yeah,
sats.
He's like the Gordon Ramsay of Bitcoin.
Like I said a couple episodes ago, like people knew him at ABC, man. Like he's
a popular figure.
He's a popular figure. There was one comment, DarthCoin said, he goes, "Yes, indeed, I do not like to kiss ass of anybody with nice, kind words. If they do not like my style of saying things directly, I don't effing care. Is their problem, not mine." And then some guy underneath him says, "Indeed." Translation, indeed, my comments can be screw at times. However, considering that time is fleeting, Bitcoin is scarce, and if you can't understand that, then eat turd. F-tarts. Did I do it right? Yeah. Close. All right. Our next top story is maybe treating housing as an investment was a society-shattering mistake. This is from Byzantine, 21 comments, 12,000 sats. Wow. What is this?
Yeah. So it's a really good article if you haven't read it yet, but it kind of expresses, I think, what are on a lot of people's minds, especially, I mean, everyone right now is either likely renting their housing situation or they own it and are paying a mortgage. I mean, maybe you're very wealthy or maybe you have great parents who let you live in their second home or something. But most people are grappling with this issue. Housing prices are incredibly high right now. Rents are incredibly high right now. And it's kind of tied to this. The article makes this argument that it's tied to society having this point of view as a house being an investment, and kind of breaks it down a little bit, like what's the alternative, but like most of the trouble it causes to treat housing like an investment, and that we can't exactly on a dime switch it to not be an investment, because there are lots of people that are reliant on their housing prices going up, because for instance, poor people who own homes, like a disproportionate amount of their wealth is like locked up in the house. So you'd be doing them a disservice. But then again, there are a lot of poor people who don't even own homes because they've been priced out by housing getting treated like an investment. Anyway, it's a mess. I know I was just talking about last podcast. My rent will have gone up 50% in this over year over year. And I'm living in a smaller house that's older, that's farther away from downtown, and doesn't even have central air, but I'm paying 50% over. So that's kind of the housing situation right now.
Yeah, I love this comment from Chung King Express. He says, "Yes, it was. A whole generation had been cut off from home ownership." He goes, "That said, though, I missed the chance to buy affordable real estate. The opportunity now for me is to buy Bitcoin." I'm in his situation, quite frankly. 2019, 2020, I had this opportunity to buy like $120,000 house. It was a little bit up north in Austin, but dude, I should have just bought it. The reason I didn't do it was because of the piping was bad. Like I listened to a relative that was like, "Oh no, don't be paying that because you're gonna have to redo the whole pipes and all." And now looking back on it, I should have just bought it, and like it would have still been cheaper to redo pipes or whatever. But the problem was with plumbing. I look back on it, I'm like, man, because now that same property, those properties in the area is like 3 times as much. Like I missed my shot. So now I'm like Chung King Express. I'm just stacking sats, staying humble.
Yeah, but you might not be in Bitcoin right now. You might be so fiat trying to pay that mortgage after you got your pipes fixed and everything. Maybe be super distracted.
I think it would probably be cheaper than my rent right now. Like, I'm not paying that much, but like, I think it'd be cheaper, or about the same. I would imagine there would be the drive, right? But still,
that's what I mean. Maybe you didn't go to a meetup that was critical in your career. Maybe you aren't downtown all the time in the Bitcoin scene, but you got a home that's worth 3 times as much. Now you're doing that. I don't know. I don't think it's worth. I don't think homeownership is worth it.
Really?
Yeah.
Like at all?
I think if you have a lot of money and you could pay someone to take care of the issues and you don't care about the cost of that, it might be okay. But I've never bought a home, but I've rented a home where I was effectively my own landlord and basically had to like renovate it.
Really?
And it's a pain. Yeah, I basically flipped the house without owning it. Like I renovated the entire thing. Doing a lot of the work myself, and it's a pain. I never want to do it again. I just want to move in somewhere for it to work. And when something's going wrong, I want to call someone and they fix it.
I have friends that own houses, and there's a little part of me where I'm just like, man, this looks really comfortable. But maybe that's not the life for Car. Maybe it's supposed to be low time preference, run a Bitcoin startup, that kind of thing. Maybe that's just my life.
It's not that comfortable. I don't think it's that comfortable. They kind of make the argument in that essay where it basically describes the situation where you're degrading the house over time. If you want to actually have it maybe retain its value, you have to kind of
sell it.
You either have to sell it or you have to kind of keep it from wearing and tearing, and it's just work. I don't know. I understand the impulse to buy a house. It seems like the normal thing to do, but then again, I haven't done it, and I probably won't. I'm too poor now to do it.
There's one really good place that's here in the Manor area of Austin that's like really nice, dude. It's called Whispering Village. That place looks really nice.
Is there a reason for the name, or is it just a random name?
Like if you go over there, like it's beautiful. The houses are reasonable for today's prices.
Place Nick was talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Nick. It's all gonna get bought up now.
All of the 3 stackers who listen moving to
Manor. 3 stackers. Yeah. But no, that's where I would go now. Looks pretty good.
Oh, the other thing is
this is not investment advice.
Exia said that he listens to the podcast and he says keep it up. He's like even though your viewers aren't very high, view numbers aren't very high. He's like it'll get there. It's good.
The show you mean?
Yeah, he said he really liked it.
Yeah. I think we've gotten better. Last year it was really terrible, a lot of the show, but like we got a rhythm now.
I mean, I was great the whole time.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I'm just kidding.
Car sucks. The next top story is the number 1 Magic of Roulette. Martigale. This is 11,500 sats. 23 comments from Boobin Check. What is this?
This is really cool. He kind of describes roulette. I don't know about roulette at all, but it's actually a really fun read.
Oh, you mean like the casino?
The casino game.
Oh yeah, I love roulette.
Do you play it?
I've played it many times.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever won?
So I'm from Corpus, and we had this casino boat. I talk about this story all the time. I was down like $700 back in the early 2000s. I went with my brother to this casino boat, and you fly out. You go out like 50 miles, and then you can gamble at that time. You can't gamble you have to gamble like outside
on the international waters.
Yeah, international waters. Okay. Anyway, down the whole night. My brother like re-upped me like $200, dude. I came back
wow.
and like cleaned house with the roulette table. But yeah, you play odds. It's just like red, black, 000, 0, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
It's fun, dude.
I've never played. I don't let myself gamble because I have like an addictive personality. But
yeah, I don't gamble anymore.
But he basically breaks down the odds, I think, in this particular type of roulette. A
lightning roulette?
Yeah, there's a lightning roulette. You've never seen this?
No. Oh, denied.
Yeah, it might be because
it's illegal.
You can't do it in the United States because it's illegal. Yeah. But I've seen this linked to several times. I know it exists, but they let you play with a single sat. And
oh, cool, dude.
Yeah, up to a limit of 200K sats. And so he's like, you can really play around with roulette strategies in the games because you can mess around with very small amounts. And I guess there are particular strategies in roulette. In particular, the one he discusses here, which is this Martigale strategy that allows you to basically not play and not lose money eventually. If you play long enough, you'll at least recoup your money.
Is that why I probably did it on the boat? It's because I just played long enough. I lost some money initially, then my brother re-upped me, then I played again and I won it all back. So that's what you're saying?
No. It's like a very particular strategy where you double your bet every time you lose, and then you eventually win. Given that you're doubling your bet, you eventually win your previous losses.
So Vintage says, this reminds me of the St. Petersburg paradox. Imagine a coin toss game where the prize starts at $1 and doubles each time you correctly predict the toss. How much should one charge to play this game?
I don't know. These guys are like stats wizards, or in particular the author of this, Bubeni, because it seems like he has no issue describing this. He describes it like I would describe, what I ate for dinner yesterday or something. And I think that's pretty awesome. I never got that deep into probability theory like this, specifically games, but it's a really fun read. He's since done, I think, 3 or 4 more on different types of roulette.
What does he do for a living? Does he do it just says that he's a volunteerist with an interest in Bitcoin 3D printing, hydroponics, and self-sufficiency. That's cool.
Those multifaceted Bitcoiners, but it apparently also wrote this in another language. Well, I suspect Czech, given Czech is on his name, and translated it with a translation tool, and it still reads really well, whatever translation tool.
Yeah, he used deepl.com/translator, it looks like, down there. Cool. I didn't even know they had that. Nice.
Yeah.
Great post. The next top story is ELI5, what's happened to Silicon Valley Bank? This is from Felix, 14 comments, 6,316 cents. Keyan, what is going on with all this stuff?
I don't know a whole bunch. We can kind of imagine. So this ELI5 sort of explains it. From what I understand, it's a poor explanation of what has actually happened.
Oh, really? Okay.
But Felix says that what happened is with its fractional reserves, what happened is Silicon Valley Bank bought U.S. Treasuries, and then those U.S. Treasuries lost value. And I think in order to keep their reserves at the right levels, they ended up having to sell some of them to avoid further losses. And then they also had to sell their own shares. And all of this triggered a bank run on Silicon Valley Bank and effectively ruined it. It's now out of business entirely. And it's been acquired or whatever, or possessed by the Federal Deposit Insurance Commission.
So it looks like number 5. I didn't know this. He said in 2021, when JPAL kickstarted the money printer, a lot of VC money poured into startups and thus into SVB, so Silicon Valley Bank. Silicon Valley Bank didn't know what to do with this money, so they purchased U.S. Treasuries. Basically everything you said. But this is me I'm not a financial wizard, guys, but Keyan, when people raise a lot of capital for a startup or even a VC, when they have a lot of capital to distribute to startups, shouldn't they allocate some of that money in different banks or in different forms? Because doesn't this make sense for them to put some of it in treasuries and some of it here?
It makes sense for Silicon Valley Bank to put some of their money in treasuries. Presumably those have relatively risk-free return. But your question about what startups should do with their money,
and VCs, it sounds like.
And VCs, yeah, they should be probably diversifying into several banks, given the risk of bank runs.
Because of the 250 cap, is that what we're looking at here? Because government only covers up to 250.
That's part of it, but I think the other part of it is just, in the case where one of these banks fails and you're not able to get your money out before they shut down, in the case of Silicon Valley Bank, what happens now to people who had more than $250,000 in Silicon Valley Bank, which are a lot of people, they now have to go through bankruptcy proceedings to even get that back.
And that could take years.
It could take a very long time.
Yeah.
So, but I know VCs who are like, what's going on with Silicon Valley Bank? They got their money out. They're talking about other banks possibly having issues and getting their money out of there. I just got an email from Mercury saying, "Don't worry, guys, we're fine." I don't use Mercury, but I use Mercury for a past startup, and so I got this email. Got an email from Stripe saying, "Oh, we're so sad for you guys who lost your money with Silicon Valley Bank. Because I used to use Stripe for another project." And they're like, we're sorry. We encourage you guys to use Silicon Valley Bank. Anyway, it's a huge mess. Like, where do you put your money now? Are more places at risk? Probably. Is it a Lehman style risk? It doesn't I
don't know, man.
So.
I was doom scrolling Twitter earlier, and it looked like there's a lot of startups that we know in the tech space that are affected by this. I think J Powell's going to have to come in and do what he does best and start printing, right? I mean,
I think the government, I think the mainstream hates tech. I think and I don't think there is going to be any saving.
Wow, really?
Tech. Yeah,
I think from a source, or you?
I don't know. I can just imagine
the AOCs and
I can imagine the whole crop. Who's the Pelosi?
Yeah,
they're probably popping bottles right now. They can't. The New York Times. They're just like, yeah, let's do this. Let's get rid of tech. I mean, the new startups will pop up, and there are a bunch of them that I'm sure will get infusions of cash from their VCs. But it is a problem. Like there will be. This is definitely not like a trivial thing. It's a lot of money that is now effectively gone.
Yeah. So that rounds out the top 5 stories. The next story I want to bring up is just for, something that I posted earlier this week on Thriller Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin at South by Southwest. So if no one knows, South by Southwest has notoriously left out Bitcoin for a really long time. Since about the whole boom in 2017, they only ever do crypto things, or they do let's get rid of Bitcoin mining panels, but they never do Bitcoin only panel, never, right? So this year, the Austin Bitcoin community in town has come together and put on a string of events all week. And what you're seeing there is all the events that are going on this week, every single one of them. And it's a lot. It's over 14 plus events happening this week just for Bitcoin only stuff.
Wow.
During South by. Last night there was a random tourist walking by 6th Street, and they saw the mempool on at Pleb Lab, and he was like, "Yo, I saw a mempool at Pleb Lab."
I saw that on Twitter.
Yeah. So it's just there's a lot of foot traffic happening. Yeah. They don't know anything about Bitcoin. They think Bitcoin and crypto is the same thing, and everybody here in the Austin Bitcoin scene is doing their part to make sure that we have some events for those people coming into town.
What are the events you're most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the hackathon, to be quite honest. I think that's the main event. Also looking forward to BitDevs, just because everybody's going to be here, so it'll be cool to have kind of the 2020 version of BitDevs when everybody would show up for BitDevs. So it's going to be kind of cool. We'll have a lot of people from out of town for that BitDevs.
I'm not looking forward to the dev events getting crowded with a bunch of people there to I don't know, rub elbows with other people. I wonder if we could somehow lock them out of the Unchained offices, we should have a coding challenge to enter BitDevs, I think.
So you're saying you don't want to?
I mean, I'm considering not even going to some
really?
some of the BitDevs and just the events that might be crazy.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's
a lot. It's a lot. But yeah, anyways, I just wanted to share that. The other thing I want to bring up, this is just an amazing post that I found on Snacker News this week. It's called "Apple Will Popularize Chip Implants. Here is How." This is from Insanely Free, 17 comments, 939 sats. I don't know if you read this.
I haven't read it yet.
So this was fascinating. This guy, or this person, created this whole post about how Apple will popularize chip implants. He goes into those AirTags and how they got those popular, how they got GPS. Apparently the same chip that's inside the AirTag is also inside your iPhone. And so it runs without even you knowing it does, even with it
doesn't even need the internet.
Yeah.
That's the craziest thing.
So he also says like Apple was the first one to make Face ID like mainstream. They made like these AirTags mainstream. He's basically, and then this is where it gets kind of like, I'm calling it conspiratorial just because like, you know, you gotta go, I need to see the links, bro. I need to see the documents in order to like really say this is what's going on. But according to him, he literally puts in here and he says like something to the likes of Apple buys these like companies to then implement like a Face ID or a Touch ID into their products. And these companies are spun out of nowhere, basically implying that it's like a government.
Is he really implying that?
Yeah, basically implying that it's a government spun LLC so they can then adopt this tech that they can then get into consumer hands that then those consumers will pay a premium for. And so the whole post is kind of skewed in how like this is how psychology works and this is how Apple was able to get everybody under this like, you know, implying this new world order. And it's fascinating, but it's a good read. The Snackers really gotta you know, DarthCoin said, keep writing these amazing articles. I like a good, you know, investigative report, even if some of it's not like directly attributing anything. But if it, you know, it's like the National Enquirer for me. It's like reading one of those things. Like some of it might be true, some of it isn't, but it's like.
No, yeah. I mean, I think on long enough time horizon, people will do all bad possible things. And so, you know, Alex Jones is right. You know, but he just predicts. His prediction is 10 years too early, oftentimes.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, it's not a bad point. I mean, I do think it seems like they're leading the charge in terms of wearables, and then like more invasive wearables and like body interactions. I know they're doing stuff with like their Apple Watch monitoring glucose levels using a camera. I saw that somewhere, but I suspect, yeah, why not? Like if anyone's going to come out with a successful implant, who else would it be? Are you gonna put in a Google implant? I mean, I'd be more likely I'm probably not gonna put in an Apple one, but I'd be more likely to put in an Apple implant than I would be a Google one.
I don't see myself putting an implant, but then again, like I saw when the first iPhone came out and I was like, that is too cool. I want one.
What if it makes you jacked?
No, I don't care about that. But like, let's say this implant like
what if it makes you really creative?
Yeah, what if it like helps you like be like ChatGPT, but it's like in real time, and then you can interface with your phone with it.
Yeah,
like then you just go up a level, you just swipe up to like increase.
You start coding.
You start coding faster. It's like you start basically like Neo. You just download your whole brain.
Yeah, dude.
That's what I'm saying, man. If it just kind of jacks you in intellectually, I don't know how you turn that down. Would you turn it down?
Probably not. I would maybe like.
Especially if everybody has it.
Yeah, if everybody has it, you need to compete. Yeah, why not? I mean, I'd probably take it if it made me jacked, but the privacy was like I could somehow cage it or something.
The thing I would be afraid of though, if they can just like literally like, there's a movie, I forget which Bruce Willis movie it was, but they can literally like turn you off, like they can send a zap and then you just like die.
No,
like, that would be terrible.
Yeah, that would be not good.
I don't think that'll happen in our lifetime. Do you think we'll get implants in our lifetime?
Yeah, for sure. There are already people with him. I mean, you know, Kyle had an implant in his hand.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He had like an RFID chip. There are people who are super into that kind of stuff.
So maybe there's a stacker out there that can give us kind of like a brief rundown of all the implants that you can get right now.
It's maybe a couple decades away, but I'm impressed by how many people have freaking smartwatches. I don't get it. I have a phone already. I mean, they have a phone and a smartwatch. I don't get the point of also having a smartwatch personally, but people do it. I mean, I get a watch because a watch is more like a piece of jewelry, really. I mean, it's not really, the utility is low now. But like a smartwatch, it's basically like a smaller phone on your wrist that has a little more functionality maybe, but it's also really expensive. But anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't got anything else. You got anything else?
We have super stat segment. Top stackers this week. I stacked 45,000. Siggy stacked the next most, almost as much as DarthCoin, around 30.
Dude, wow, he's making.
Davis stacked quite a bit. I don't know who Davis is. What did he stack on? Maybe he did a bounty. Oh, he posted. He said something nice about Stacker News, and people liked it. 14K for Byzantine. We are all Satoshi. Bubeni from the roulette guy. Stacked quite a bit too. Lots of stackers. Joe Nakamoto also stacked quite a bit. I'm the top spender again. All hail me. Now, spent 69K this week. John Carvalho came in and spent 50K on a job, although he spent it all in like one go. It was kind of weird, but he did a job that was like 1,000 sats a minute or something, but he only had 50K in his wallet and just like spent it all out. Phaedrus, next top one, and then look at the Cowboys. Where we're at with Cowboys right now. Howdy, partners.
How's that going on the back end? Like, it's taking off.
Yeah, I mean, there are some people.
Blockchain Book has some too.
There are some people who are keeping their streaks going quite a bit. So the longest,
even Austin too. Wow.
The longest we've had them are 38 days. So Austin has kept his. Look at how freaking reliable that is.
I don't even know how to keep my hat though. And you didn't want to tell me.
I don't tell anyone. It's something you have to figure out.
All right, stackers, if you're out there, somebody make a post. Let's do this. I'm going to set a bounty for that over the weekend. Tell me how to keep my hat.
Oh, that's rude.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Somebody figure out this game that Keyan is playing behind the scenes. I don't know.
It's not that complicated. Ben Carmen figured it out in like a day because he just read the code.
Ben is smart. Okay. That's pretty cool, man. At least people are enjoying it. 21 days. How do you even go that long? Wow. Oh, Scoresby's there too. Cool.
They're good Cowboys, dude. They know how to live in the West and keep it real. That's what's going on.
Oh, wow. Yeah. People commenting live. Look at that. Dad Scout said, yep, keep it going, boys. And then Shepherd Mamba says,
howdy.
Hearts. Got our fountain boost. We got Blockchain Book. He said, zap. And then he also said, the book with the Voss twins is Bitcoin Billionaires. Great book. Highly recommended. That is from SNL 57 Airbnb Bros.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Also, did you see this? So, is Jack on Stacker News?
That's not the Jack. It's a Jack. I've actually went to dinner. I had dinner with this Jack, but this is not the.
Oh wow. He just made a 300,000 sats bounty. He's asking, curious if anyone is in Austin for South by, and if you have eyes on any particular meetups or events, bounty to whoever gives the best info. Well, Jack, there's a post on Thriller Bitcoin. Check out.
Why don't?
Ben Carmen did.
Okay.
Ben Carmen already had.
There you go.
Thank you, Ben. Cool. All right. Keyan, what are you doing this weekend?
What am I doing? I think I'm going to begin packing because I'm moving next week.
You need help?
No, I don't. We don't have any stuff. So, fortunately, we're pretty good, lean.
Okay.
And moving.
What days are you moving? Just like all week next week?
Yeah, we have like 2 weeks. We have like our
so you're gonna take your
leases like overlap for like 2 weeks, so we'll be chilling.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Nostradevs, the first Nostradevs in Austin. We'll see how it goes. Super Testnet's going to do it.
Yeah,
one of the founding Nostr people.
Is he a founding Nostr member? Does he consider? I don't think.
Yeah, he does. I think he does consider himself like early Nostr.
Wow,
OG
he's like
guy.
Part of the high council of Nostr people. I mean, I know he was very early.
Yeah, he was very early.
Yeah,
he wouldn't stop talking about it.
He's basically Peter Todd of Nostr.
That's awesome. All right, stackers, have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.